I am Anita J. I got that name when I was in college and I kind of just ran with it. But my first business ever was something that I was very, very passionate about, and that's makeup. So when I was in college, I went to Norfolk State University, behold the green and gold. I was a cheerleader and I was one of the captains. And one of the things that I had to do was make sure the girls were on point. So I used to have to do their makeup. So I started out just doing $5, $10 faces in my dorm rooms. And then everyone started coming to my dorm to do, get makeup done for like random things. And it just kind of spread like wildfire across campus. So everybody was coming to my dorm room. Like it was crazy. I actually got in trouble for it. They were like, you can't be hustling out your dorm room, but I still did it. And after that, I mean, it's kind of just snowballed out of control. Photographers were reaching out to me to do makeup, and then they were referring me to people up in New York and people in Miami, and I was like flying all over the place. So for a few years, I actually I left college, got out of college. I was a makeup artist part-time, and I was actually working in banking. That has nothing to do with either or, but that was my full-time job. I had a son at that time, so I worked in banking for about 10 years, all while doing makeup on the side. When I tell y'all I wasn't sleeping, because I was flying in and out of town the weekends doing, I've worked with VH1, I've worked with Ford Models up in New York. I worked with Sean James, who is Jamie Lee Curtis and Angelina Jolie's hairstylist. I was in Miami with him and going to Texas and flying out to Vegas. Like, it was crazy, but I was still working a 9 to 5. So it was hard to kind of juggle those things and be a mom, a single mom at that. And but it's absolutely possible. You just have to know how to manage it. So once I got into makeup, I kind of went through the whole thing. I kind of hit my peak before IG got a hold of the whole makeup thing. So once IG started producing millions of makeup artists, I kind of lost my love for it, because I'm like, I was out there literally knocking on agencies' doors, grinding, and now people can just post a picture on Instagram and get hired or whatever. So it was like different for me. Like, I appreciate the hustle a little bit more. So I kind of moved from that. But the thing that I fell in love with over time was actually marketing and building a business, period, in general, because that's the side people don't tell you. Like, even in the beauty industry, they tell you, how to do makeup. They don't tell you about the business side. They don't tell you about having to, get hired by a big time photographer in New York, and you live in Virginia and gotta hop the China bus to get there in the middle of the night and just lie and tell them that you live in New York. It was like a different type of hustle. So all that taught me so many things, and I use that to kind of guide my path into what I'm doing now, which is more of the marketing and branding side. Because I think what made me more successful in that area was because I branded myself before I branded myself as anything else. Like, I wasn't affiliated with anything else. I was me first. And then once I rope you in, then I'm gonna tell you what I'm selling. So I left corporate America. It'll be 3 years in September. So I've been full-time entrepreneur for 3 years. And, I've been network marketing, which we're gonna talk about today. I will say this, and I'll probably say it like 5 more times before I get off the phone. I will always have a network marketing business in my pocket, regardless of what I'm doing. Like, it doesn't matter. And the reason I'm so passionate about it is I've made so much money off of not doing much.
Girl.
Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people don't know, like, you really don't grind that hard to make the money that you make. But it's not about making the money. Like, everything I make in my network marketing business goes towards my other businesses. Everything I make, I don't spend it on anything. I reinvest it into my own businesses. So I have Levelux Marketing Agency, which is basically digital marketing, web design, and all of that good stuff. That's my main business. And I'm also with Total Life Changes, which is my kind of like my investment business, which I use to invest in my other businesses. And I haven't announced it to anybody yet, but I'm actually studying for my real estate license, and that's stressing me the heck out. But that's been one of the things I wanted to do when I worked in banking and just kind of abandoned it. So I'm kind of revisiting it. So the thing is that I try to tell people about network marketing is, man, people have such a misconception about the industry because of, well, I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. That's kind of one of the questions you were supposed to ask me. But it's just so much going on out here, and so many misconceptions of the industry, that a lot of people are missing out on some good money because of what they think they know about the industry or what they feel like people are going to say about them. Meanwhile, me and M are in the cut making like bank while everyone else is talking about it. You know what I mean? So I'm not too proud. I'm gonna make my coins. Y'all can say what y'all want. More money for me. You know what I mean? So, all these things, I think the reason that I've been able to be so successful, like I said, was I market myself first. I get people to trust me. I get people to fall in love with me and my personality and my makeup and my craziness, because I'm real crazy on Facebook. And people fall in love with me and my brand and my personal story that they don't even care what I have to offer. They're going to support it regardless.
Right.
So I think that's one thing that's been a real big part of it. Like if you go to my Instagram, you probably won't see any TLC stuff up there, but I'm gonna drive you to my website and then you're gonna see, oh, she does TLC, because it's like one of the first things that pops up.
Right.
So this is how you come across. I don't want to be too salesy until I get you in the door, but when I get you in the door, I'm gonna close you. But it's all about how you present yourself and the way you market yourself, the way you present yourself to prospects and share your story is very, very important. So
Right, right. And it's funny that you said that you're always going to do network marketing, because now as I coach different people, I see how network marketing fits in, right? And network marketing is essentially affiliate marketing. So if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see that yesterday I did a sponsored post with, I'm actually like using it right now. It's like a convertible little table, right? And it's a table that you could use like as a desk. You could use it on your bed. You could use it like to hold a recipe book. You could use it as a standing desk. Like it has 650 million ways that you could use it, right? And what I always say is, when you know how to sell something, you can sell water to a well, right? So I did this sponsored post yesterday. They paid me $450 to do that Instagram post, right? And I posted it on Instagram. It sold out in like 3 hours, right? That's sold out in 3 hours on Amazon. I reached out to my contact. They put more up. They gave me more discount codes or whatever, and now it's up running again. But what people don't realize is, yes, I got paid that $450 one time. But if somebody comes to my Instagram page 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now, a month from now, and stumbles upon the desk and buys it, I'm not getting a check. Right? I got my one-time check, and now the standing desk company is going to continue to make money off of that one post that they paid me for forever in life. Right? And what people don't realize with network marketing is that everybody is doing some sort of network or affiliate marketing. They're just not getting paid for it. Every time you wear a t-shirt with a logo, you're marketing for that company. Every single time you post a picture of any products that you use, of any bathing suits that you use, you are marketing for another company. Some bloggers are smart that they use things like to know it. They use reward style. They use Amazon affiliates, which is one thing that I use. They're part of network marketing. So when they are sharing all of these things that they're using, they're making a commission back, right? But what people don't realize is they let their mindsets or the corny way that people do network marketing influence the way that they do network marketing, right? So what would you say are some of the ways that, or not some of the ways, but some of the things that got you attracted to doing network marketing? And before we jump on in, what I want you guys to understand is that everybody is trying to sell you something. Some people allow you to become a distributor of the product. Some people allow you to become an ambassador of the product, and some people just pimp you out while you use the product, right? So there are people who wear waist trainers to the gym and are like raving about, oh my gosh, I love waist trainers. They work so much, whatever. Then homegirl went and bought a waist trainer, and here you are making, whatever her name is, a whole bunch of money based off of the marketing that you're doing on the ground, right? There are 1,000,001 companies. The most female millionaires ever have come from the direct sales industry, right? Avon, Mary Kay, Amway, Total Life Changes, Herbalife. It works. There's 1,000,000 of them, right? What made you, somebody who already had a brand, somebody who already was an influencer, add something like network marketing to your brand and not feel like it was corny or, oh my God, I'm not trying to build a team. I'm not trying to be looking crazy in the streets. Like, what made you add that to part of your revenue stream?
Well, there's a few things, And a lot of people don't understand that when they get into network marketing, you are actually running a business. So if you come in it looking at it like a business, it's a lot less scary. So me already having an understanding of business, it made it a little bit easier to see why it just made sense, because it's like, okay, I got all these companies I've created. I done went out there, invested all my money, got these, LLCs and websites and blah, blah, blah. When I can come over here and invest $100 to $400 in something that's already created and run the business and make money off of it. I'm like, I done did all this work for my other businesses, but this was already put in place. And then you got to think about it. It's the same thing with like franchises. I always explain this to people when they ask me about, well, how do you feel about how the industry in general? And I say, well, think about it. If somebody said, I'm gonna give you this McDonald's, if you give me $300, I'm gonna give you this McDonald's. You run it. We already have the business plan put in place. We already have the website. The store is already good. We got the employees. We got everything you need. We just need you to invest in it. And whatever the store makes, you make the money off of it. You would do it, right? It's the same thing with Total Life Changes or It Works or 5 Links or whatever it is. There's the business is already set in place. They're already a corporation. They already have the marketing materials. They already have the brochures. They have the products. You don't have to make any products. You don't have to bring any products. They already have the conferences and the prospecting tools. They already have all that set up. All they're saying is, listen, we'll give you a quote unquote franchise, because we're not really supposed to call it a franchise, but honestly, it's what it is. But we'll give you a part of this franchise. Run it the way you want to, just like a Starbucks, Barnes and Noble, Mickey D's, Wendy's. We'll give you this, and you just get your investment, make it back, and you run it the way you see fit. It's the same thing in network marketing, the same thing in these franchises. But the difference is, in these franchises, it takes an average of 2 years to make your money back, because on average, you have to put down $1.5 million in cash just to get your foot in the door. Not a check, not a bank loan. They need 1.5 liquid assets to get in the door to buy this franchise. So when somebody walks up to you and tell you to do the same thing with these companies and give me $99, they're like, no, I can't do it. I'm like, it's crazy. $99? Go ahead and sign me up. And by the time midnight comes, I'm gonna have 3 people on my team and I'm gonna make $500. Like, that's how I think, because it's the same mentality. But that's, again, you have to understand business. And that's why I always tell people, if I'm trying to recruit someone, don't sign up right away. I want you to go do your research. I've had people come to me and say, I want to sign up right now. And I ask them, because I interview people before they join my team. I don't let people just sign up. I say, do you know anything about the company? Have you looked up, our rating on the Better Business Bureau? Have you researched the industry? Do you know the top leaders in our company? Do you know anything? They're like, no, I just need to make money. No, boo-boo. I'm gonna give you 2 days. Go do some research. I'm gonna call you back. And once they get a better understanding, they're like, okay, this makes sense. So for me, it was a no-brainer, because I understood business off jump anyway. But a lot of people don't, and so they come in, they don't really understand it. They don't put 2 and 2 together. So it kind of pushes them away because they don't understand it. But I think if people understood it a little bit better, it would be less of a hassle. That and people out here are just janky, unfortunately.
Okay, fucking raggedy as shit. I'm sorry for all the cursing in one sentence.
They mess it up. They completely mess it up because they try to reinvent the wheel. They try to do all these back end ways of manipulating the system when the system's already in place. Stop messing it up. You're messing up for all of us. You've given people bad, vibes on the industry that we're working really, really hard to change. And I just think people stop doing that. People will be a little less leery to get into it. But again, I think the most important thing is understanding to look at it as a business, not as a network marketing thing or pyramid scheme or whatever. Look at it as a true business opportunity, a franchise, if you will, and do your research. I think that's really, really important. But for me, it was nothing. It was like,
right. And one thing that I said when I launched this was, we're constantly waiting and begging for opportunities instead of just creating our own, right? So I use this example all of the time. If you're a makeup artist, right, you go to MAC and you spend $250 on buying your makeup kit, right, on getting your makeup kit started. You do somebody's makeup and you use Rihanna's Ruby Woo, right? She loves it. She's like, oh my gosh, what lipstick is this? You send her off to Young MAC, right? Instead, you could find a comparable solution. So another network marketing company is Beauty Counter, and I'm obsessed because all of their products are they don't have any chemicals, so it's all like natural and like plant-based and organic. And I started using their foundation, and I really, really, really love it. And it just dawned on me that I'm like, if makeup artists thought to use something like network marketing to supply their products and also continue to have clients and customers purchase from them, they will be able to easily make six figures, right? Because you get paid on the actual makeup that you do. Then when they like the lipstick, you selling them the lipstick, right? And then when they want more of the lipstick, they're going to come back to you to get more of the lipstick. So it's really a continuous cycle of sales. And I love that Olivia said this, because this is the shit that pisses me off all the time. It's like, she said, I think people are afraid of having to walk up to people, to strangers, and talk about their product. I don't really sell my product because of this fear also. I don't walk up to nobody, right? Right, I don't walk up to anyone. And I think that there is this perception that when you sell products, you need to walk up to people. Yesterday, I sold 72 standing desks, and I didn't walk up to anybody. I posted a picture on Instagram, and I showed people how to use it. Nita has sold, like, this month, probably thousands of dollars in TLC because she wrote a blog post about how she lost 50 pounds in, what was it, 50 days or something like that, or 30 days?
I can't remember at the time, but yeah, I lost 50 pounds using the products. I didn't walk. I'm not walking with no stranger. Like, excuse me,
Right.
ma'am. See, no.
Right. And when you're being a marketer, right? Like when you went to Starbucks and you got the unicorn frappuccino, you didn't run up to people on the street and be like, hey, you should definitely try the unicorn frappuccino. I love it so much. It's so great. No, you used it, you drank it, you was walking down the street drinking it, people saw you. You put it probably on your Instagram story or on your Snapchat or on your Facebook, people saw it. And that's how you end up influencing minds. Sales is all about influencing buying decisions. It's not about convincing people. Like I tell my team all the time, to be a good salesperson, you're not in the business of convincing anybody to buy something. You're in the business of telling people how it's going to work for them and their life, right? So regardless if you're selling weave or if you're selling It Works products or Total Life Changes products or Mary Kay, or if you're selling your own book on your own website or your own services, you should not be ever running up on anybody cold messaging them, because you're never going to be successful in that way. You have to make whatever you have attractive so that people come to you, right? And I think where people get messed up is, one, they feel like, if I start to sell something, I'm not an expert, right? So maybe you really love fitness. Girl, you drink shakes every freaking day. If you don't get into this Herbalife and just start selling this Herbalife, girl, like, just sell it. You use it every day, right? I started selling It Works because people kept asking me about my hair, and I was using the hair vitamins, and I'm like, okay, clearly something's going on. If every single Instagram picture, somebody's asking me about my hair, every time I go somewhere, somebody's asking me about my hair, like, there is something going on here. Like, that's when the light bulb went off. And it's just like, I could have sat there and thought, okay, well, if I add a product line to my brand, I'm going to look disorganized or corny or crazy. Or I could have looked at it and been like, let me get this coin and be able to sell a product that I don't have to ship, that I don't have to hold inventory, that I don't have to, worry about marketing. Because when I ask people about different products, they know what it is. They've already heard about the company. So you just become basically just a distributor. You become the connect between the brand and the customer. So what are some of the things that you have found that make either, your peers or people on your team fail when they want to do something, like network marketing or affiliate marketing, when they try to add products to their brands, and they end up not selling?
I think because you still have, it's still like, again, you're still a business, so you still have to have some kind of a marketing strategy, or how are you going to fit this into what I have going on? You really have to think about that before you jump out there just playing, hey, I sell this now, buy, buy, buy. And so I see that all the time. Like, I see new reps, like, their Instagram is all nice and motivational and pretty and cute, and they sign up, and their first 11 posts after they sign up is TLC, and I'm like, chill, fall back, like, get on the products, show them how it works. Like, for me, I actually started using the products before I signed up. I used the tea first, and I had really good results. And I was like, oh, okay. And I started buying like all the products, and I was like, I could have bought this stuff for myself and got a 50% off. You know what I mean? So
Right.
that's how I signed up. But the products really worked for me. So I shared my journey from the time I started using the product. So by the time I did sign up, people were like, oh, that's the stuff you use. I want some. You know, it was nothing. So I think people really have to focus more on sharing their story rather than selling like crazy. I mean, we are salespeople. That's like the no get. That's a given, right? But you really have to share. And going back to Olivia, I think it's just Olivia. I don't have my contacts on. When she said she's scared to talk to people about her products, don't talk, show them. That's the easiest way I can tell you. From every business I've ever had, I have never once walked up to somebody and asked them about my product. Never in the whole. How old am I? 33. Since I was 19 years old, I've never asked one person to buy anything from me. I've always shared what I have going on and then let them make the decision whether they want to do business with me. And CLC, you see, I mean, they see what happened. Oh, you look different. You know, you're losing weight. Oh, girl, yeah. I've been using this. Where can I buy it? Girl, you're my website. Boom. That's your customer. Matter of fact, if you share this with 5 more people, I'll give you a free pack of tea. Easy. That's 5 people right there. I didn't ask none of them people. I didn't really go up to any of these people. So you really have to share what's going on. When I did makeup, never asked anybody if I could do their makeup. I just made sure my face was beat 24/7. Walmart, I would be in sweatpants and a t-shirt, but my face was beat, honey, with lashes and everything. People walking at me, oh my God, your makeup is so pretty. Where'd you get your makeup done? Girl, I do my own makeup for real. I got a wedding coming up, and my cousin is going to prom. Here's my business card, girl. I got you. I didn't walk up to anybody. I just walked around looking fly. That's all I did. You know what I mean? So you really have to share what you have going on. Doesn't matter what business you're in. Stop selling like crazy. I think that's the thing with the old school network marketing is that you have to make a list and talk to 1,000 people and walk up to people and knock on their doors and blah blah blah. Like you don't have to do that no more. We got social media, we got video, we got
Real
smartphones,
life.
marketing and email. We got so much out here that you don't have to do that. So I actually think it's a lot easier for people to succeed in network marketing than it was in the past. Like those poor women, they was working themselves to the bone for $1,000 check. Me? No, honey. I'm
Right.
not doing all that. So, the most important thing I think it is, again, is to share rather than sell. Don't go on Instagram and IG and you don't even do any engagement. You don't talk to people no more. You just post a link and be out. Don't do that. Please don't do that. That's one thing I see a lot. Whole Instagram be lit, just TLC, green out, just everything. They don't say nothing about their family. They don't put their weight loss pictures up there. They don't share their stories of other people losing weight. Straight, buy this, buy that. That's it. You know what I mean? So I think that's like the biggest thing that I see.
And I love that you said, that for your makeup business, all you did was do your own face, right? Because in It Works, we have, the motto, which I'm sure you probably have in TLC too, which is you have to be a product of the product, right? And what I've learned in my business is regardless of anything that I've sold or anything that I've added to my brand, it has to be something that I personally have experienced and I personally have done well, right? So just because I just so happen to know a little bit about doing my own makeup, I'm not going to jump out the window and become a makeup artist, right? I'm going to stay in my lane about the things that I know how to do and things I know how, and the things I know how to do well. But I think people see different opportunities that seem lucrative and it might not be in their lane and they jump on in and then they're not successful because it wasn't for them, right? Like my mom does Mary Kay. That's great, but I don't do makeup. I beat my face. Like you have to basically beat me to get me to beat my face because I just don't have the energy or the time to do it. So, going into a business that's very makeup focused wouldn't have been for me. Right. So I think a lot of times people jump into the things that are popping because their friends are doing it or because it looks like it's going to be good, but it's not necessarily for them. Just like now everybody and their mother wants to do lashes. I'm not knocking anybody that wants to do lashes, but homegirl, like if your lashes are raggedy, right, and you walking down the street and your eyelashes are looking like spider legs, you're not going to be able to attract customers because nobody's ever going to come up to you and say, oh my gosh, I love your lashes. Where do you get them done? Right? Or, oh my gosh, you can't say that you're a stylist and you're not stylish, right? You can't say that you are a hair care expert and you don't have edges. Like we talk about this so much. But I think people always like miss the mark in that sense of you have to be a product of your product, whatever it is. And like you said, you have to show and not only tell. So, oh no, she fell. We'll wait for her to come back. But the reason why my sponsored post yesterday was so successful was because I showed people all of the ways that they could use the products, right? I showed them how you could use it as a standing desk. I showed them how you could use it on your bed. I showed them how you could use it in the kitchen, right? I didn't say, hey, you can use this desk and it will transform into 17 different ways and you could use it in your bed and in your house. I didn't say any of that. I just literally showed them, right? And for you guys, regardless of anything that you're selling, you have to always show people how it works, right? Like don't tell people that if you're a publicist, that publicity is important for their business. Show people how one of your clients got in Essence magazine, and because she was in Essence magazine, her sales went up, by 200%, or she sold out of her product, right? Don't say, come to my event. Show people, okay, the people who have come to my past events, this is what they've taken away, this is what they've learned, and this is why you should come too. We are honestly always trying to shove things down people's throat, and we're telling them and we're not showing them. We're telling them why they need to buy something or why they need to come to our event or why they need to do something, instead of just showing them what that product or service or event or whatever it is, what is going to do for them and their life and how it's going to change or make them different, if that makes sense. So the last question I have for you, Nita, before we open it up for Q&A, because I'm not about to play these games with y'all like yesterday. Yesterday, it went for 2 hours, and I got things to do today, honey. So the last thing is for women who realize, right, and know and understand that they are a walking billboard, right, that every single time they open their mouth and recommend the product, it is a potential revenue opportunity. What are some of the ways that you would recommend that they could start, get started, whether, it's in network marketing or just using their influence to create revenue by recommending products, whether that's sharing, a referral link, like with Amazon affiliates, whether that's, joining a network marketing, whether that is, using an app like It to Know It or reward style if they are heavy into fashion. Like, how can people actually get started to make the transition from, what I like to call it, giving it up filthy for the free and actually generating revenue?
Well, the first thing is, like you said, find something that you absolutely love first, because if you're passionate about something, people are drawn to that. They can tell when you're just out for the money and when you really, really love it. Like when I lost the weight, like I was TLC, I'm still TLC all day, every day, because I'm so passionate about it. Because I'm like, dang, I lost that weight like really, really fast because of these products. So it's something I was passionate about, because at the time I had already started talking about going on a weight loss journey. So find something that you love. Don't just go sign up for a million affiliate links or a couple businesses that you heard make a lot of money. Find something that you're really, really passionate about, because that makes it so much easier to run a business that way. So if you are looking to get into network marketing or any type of business, what do you like? What are you passionate about? Are you passionate about health and wellness? Do you like makeup? Do you like technology? Because I know there's a couple of new technology companies that are out there. Do you like, what else? I don't know what else is out there. And then what do you have going on now? So, and then see if you could mesh those two together. Me personally, I have a marketing company and health and wellness and real estate in a couple months. None of those go together. So what I do for me is to start building a brand for yourself. This is why personal branding is like super, super important, because whatever direction I decide to go with, I'm going to have an audience for me regardless. TLC isn't my first company. I was with another company before that, and I did really well. And I left because the company was going through some drama. I didn't want my name attached to it, so I was out. I was like, but I made a lot of money there, and I built a huge audience when I was with that company. But what happened is I didn't market myself as a representative of that company. I marketed myself as Nita J. I am NitaJ.com. And then that was something that I did. So when I switched and made the transition to TLC, nobody even noticed. They just started buying from me. They didn't even notice. And it was because I had built a story and a foundation of myself. So whatever you decide to do, regardless of the business, network marketing, whatever, I always tell my clients, like, build an umbrella. Your brand, you are the umbrella, and everything else you do is underneath it. So if you decide to make some moves, make some changes, do some things that aren't really related, you're good to go. If you decide to cut all those businesses out and start fresh, you still have an audience because they love you and not what you do. So I think that's really, really important. Find what you love. That's very, very important. See what you have going on and how it's going to mesh, and definitely build a personal brand, which is super, super important. I think that's why everyone is so hype about it right now, because they're starting to see how important it is. Get a coach, a branding coach. M is dope. Get her. Or who else? I'm not, never mind. Never mind. I'm trying to think. It's like a bunch of them. Like, but that's really, really important, especially in network marketing. Like, with there being so many companies and so many like different reps. I mean, there's literally millions of reps in network marketing in the world. Probably billions now. And so, what differentiates yourself from everybody? I think that's super, super important. So, again, start really, really focus on your personal brand. That's super, super important. And well, what else did I say? Oh, and find what you love first. Don't just sign up for whatever. So there is a website you can go on. I believe it is, I think it's dsa.org, I believe, which is the Direct Sales Association. It lists every single company that's registered with them. And it literally gives you descriptions of all the companies, whether they're in good standing, whether they're, a reputable company, how many reps they got, how long they've been in business, where are they headquartered at. It tells you all that stuff. You can research these things before you start reaching out. Don't wait till people are knocking on your door, irritating the hell out you, trying to recruit you. Know your stuff first. So do your research and figure out what it is that you really, really love to do.
Right. I totally agree. That's definitely what I recommend to my clients. Like, anybody that ever wants to build a brand, I always say, before you think about building a brand, you need to build value, right? So I actually was going on this rant earlier in my head, and I'm like, people don't want a coach. They want a parole officer, right? People don't want a consultant. They don't want to hire somebody to do the work. They want a babysitter, right? What they want is to do things their way, but they just want somebody to be able to ask the question, to be able to pick somebody's brain on demand, right? And that's not necessarily how it works. So I know that if I tell somebody, hey, in order for you to bake a cake, you need to start with the flour and the eggs. You know what people do? They be like, oh yeah, I know I need the cake, but what about the frosting? I was thinking about cream cheese and I really want to put red sprinkles. And it's like, girl, if you don't make the cake, you ain't gonna put frosting on shit. You feel me? Like, it's not gonna work. It's not. So when you build a brand, you have to find out what is your cake. Like, what is the foundation that you're gonna stand on? You're worried about logos and color palettes and all this foolery, which is the frosting, that you're gonna put that on nothing, right? If you were to put frosting on a paper plate, nobody's gonna eat it, right? I'm more likely to eat cake with no frosting than just frosting, right? Depending on who I am, honestly. But I feel like when people try to build brands and when people are looking for ways to make extra income and add products to their brand, they're just doing it without thinking about what's their cake, right? So if I'm telling you, you need to get flours and eggs and milk and water or whatever it is, and you need to mix it up and you need to let it bake and then you need to let it cool, you need to do all those steps before you're worried about the end game, right? So before you're worried about your website and your logo and the color palette and your webinar and your book and your ebook, like, what are people already coming to you for, right? How are you already being valuable to people? What's your foundation? What are people asking you about? Right? Do people ask you, Obviously for you, Nita, you lost a lot of weight. So naturally people were asking you, what did you do? How did you do it? Because they want that too, right? What are people coming to you for? Is it fashion? Is it makeup? Is it your skin? Are you always getting compliment on your nails? Like there's a million and one things. Like the one, well, I don't want to say a tool, but the one program that you should all sign up for is Amazon Associates. Amazon sells everything from Michael Kors bags to toothpicks. I mean, cotton swabs. Like they sell everything. It's groceries. They sell everything in between. So what I tell people is figure out what you're already recommending to people and just make sure that you monetize that with affiliate links or with network marketing. So if you are already doing makeup, stop selling other people's makeup. Sell your own damn makeup. Join Mary Kay. Join Beauty Counter. Join whoever it is, right? If you are a fitness trainer, girl, stop sending people to GNC because you know what? They're going to spend the same amount of money, but the difference between GNC and you is that you are going to be their personalized trainer, right? Or their personalized coach. You're getting commissions off those products. You know how those products work and you love it, right? Versus when you go to GNC and you're just looking at 65 protein powders and you just getting, you know, advice from somebody who in there who don't work out and is just there to make their $8 an hour and leave, right? So I think at times people forget that it's so easy to add products to the things that they are already doing in their life, the things that are already going on. So I'll give you an example. One of my clients, she's into interior design. If I was into interior design, girl, I would find an affiliate program or somebody that I could get my furniture dropship. Girl, I'm not going to send you to, I'm going to make this up, but I'm not going to send you to IKEA and Wayfair when I got this warehouse right over here that's going to sell you the products and cut me 20% for what you're going to buy, right? But I think people don't put, you know, two and two together of these are the things that I'm already doing. These are the products that I'm already moving, whether, you know, intentionally or not. And they don't figure out ways for them to put, you know, a price tag on that for themselves. So that's my 2 cents. That's why I've been able to, you know, sustain myself because all I do is coach people on DMs all day long for the free. So the least you could do, girl, is buy the things that I recommended so I can make a little bit of money since you got me here wasting my motherfucking time coaching you on DMs all day long, right?
I don't even answer girls, they will DM you for weeks, and I'm like, okay, honey, here you go, this invoice.
Right,
When
right,
they
right,
buy
right.
consultations, they're like, okay,
Right, right, right.
no, thanks for your time. No.
Right. It's like people are always like, oh, what are you wearing? Where do you get this? What do you do? What do you do? Da, 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 da. And it's like, yeah, you shouldn't mind sharing, but it comes to a point where now you are literally their personal assistant. Like you done told them where you bought every single thing. You done taught them how to pack for Mexico. You damn sure almost told them where to get the flight at, you know? So sometimes we are giving so much of ourselves to people that we need to find a way to make that add value back to our lives. So it's 1:45. Let's open it up for questions. I know a ton of you probably are thinking, okay, well, what could I add to my brand? Or I've tried something like this before and it didn't work, or, you know, whatever it is. So definitely drop it in the chat. Or if you're on the phone, you have the option to raise your hand. So you can raise your hand and I can unmute you.
There's a question right there from Danica. What books do you recommend for personal branding?
My book is called Make Yourself Marketable on Amazon. That's the only book you will ever need in your life. But I'm gonna tell you this. There is no, in my opinion, I created the workbook because I felt like there was no book that existed to teach you personal branding, because personal branding is a mix of personal development. It's a mix of marketing. It's a mix of sales. It's a mix of graphic design. It's a mix of like personal develop, like just your own personal development, right? Because if you don't continue to develop as a person, there's going to be nothing, there's going to be no cake, no value for you to add. So the book that I recommend is Outliers, because it talks about putting in your 10,000 hours, right? In order for you to be an expert in anything, you have to put in at least 10,000 hours into it. And I think it helps to change people's mindset around what they're qualified to do or not qualified to do. So if you've been going to the gym for the last 5 years, right, every single day for 2 hours a day, you are probably more of an expert than somebody who just came out of a nutrition school and just, got their trainer certification, who hasn't been working out for 3 months. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you have to like switch your mindset and see how your life experiences and the things that you've already been doing contribute to your 1,000 hours, 10,000 hours of expertise, if that makes sense. So that's what I recommend.
I read a lot, so I could probably recommend like 100 books. So I'm like looking at my list right now, like what could I? There's like a bunch. I have the Kindle Unlimited, so I read
Oh, yeah.
an
I have
hour.
it too through Amazon.
It's pretty sad. Like I read so much. Like my mom said, I'm gonna be knitting and having like 7 cats pretty soon. But what? Let me try. Let me see if I can find it.
And I'm typing in the books in the chat. So Outliers, which is by Malcolm Gladwell, and then Make Yourself Marketable, which is my planner.
Yeah, there.
Nita, apparently the volume is low on your end.
Okay, hold on. Can y'all hear me now?
Mm-hmm.
Turn my thing up. Let me see if I can move my computer closer. How about now? Can y'all hear me?
I can hear you. It still sounds a little low, but I think it's better. Just talk loud. Just scream.
Okay, I can do that. I was a cheerleader. So one book that is like classic. I mean, I've probably read this book like 8 times, but How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. That's like a classic book. But that talks about how to like attract people. Yeah, thank you. How to attract people with your story, and it kind of touches on branding. It doesn't talk about branding in our day and age because this book is pretty old. They've redone it a few times, but it does have some really, really good points
Right.
in it about branding. That's the only thing from. It's the only thing from this list. I have a list on my website, but
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what other books. Oh, what is it? I'm looking on my bookshelf right now.
There aren't that many books out there about personal branding.
Right, there are not many at all.
But if
Yeah,
you
there
look
aren't
up
really any books.
unlimited or anything like that, just type in, it'll pop up like thousands of books.
Yeah, I don't really know like any timeless. Oh, you know what? The book that I really, really like, Napoleon Hill's book, Think and
Yes.
Grow Rich, just
Yes.
because I feel like that was the textbook of personal branding and really how to build a portfolio. Although it is from the context of getting a job, I feel like it's applicable in any area of life. Like I read it over and over again. I think I've read it like 3 times over the last couple of years. There's also a ton of books that talk about just, like personal development and mindset and things like that, which are really, really good to read, because I feel like once you start pouring into yourself, it's easy for you to pour into other people, right? Because sometimes we're trying to pour into other people from an empty cup. So I like to read a lot of like self-help books and like mindset books, because to me, marketing changes every single day. So personal branding changes every single day. Social media changes every single day. So what I read about social media today is not going to be the same a year from now. So I rather read those timeless self-development books and work on my mindset than work on my strategies, because strategies can change. Janelle said best marketer wins. Somebody said, Olivia said, Seth Godin's All Marketers Tell Stories. Oh, that's a good one. But yeah, let me go back to the question. Nita's frozen again. Lord. How do you get around people being interested in your product, but they can't swallow the price? As an example, the skincare I sell is about $160 for a regimen, which lasts 60 days. So Olivia, this is what I tell my distributors and what I tell anybody that I've ever coached in my life. It is not your business or problem to convince people to buy something from you, regardless of the price point or not, right? I charge $150 an hour for coaching. My friend Maya Elias charges $497 an hour for coaching, right? People who want my services come to me. People who want my services go to her for 1 hour, right? So your job is to be valuable and to present yourself as the prize, for lack of a better term, or present your product as the prize, and leave it up to people to decide what they want to invest in, right? Because people don't need to swallow the price. They need to decide whether or not it's something that they want to invest in. And people will lie and say, I can't afford it, or not right now, or give you the runaround, because simply they just don't feel like it's something valuable enough to invest in. I'm gonna tell you right now, if somebody tells you that they do not have the $160 for the skincare, but tomorrow she got an email that said Beyonce is having a private concert and the tickets are $265 and you need to pay them in 24 hours, she will figure it out. Shit, I will figure it out, right? But you have to figure out how to make the product valuable enough. Nobody walks into Hermes, nobody walks into, Louis Vuitton and says, oh, I really love this bag, but I mean, it's just those $200. They go into the store knowing and expecting what they're going to pay. So you need to just train people that is the price. It's set to that price because it's a luxury product, or because of, the length of time or whatever, and keep it moving. I paid $33 for my cleanser. I paid $39 for my moisturizer. Okay. I paid $55 for my hair vitamins. At the end of the day, I find those things valuable because clearly my skin is popping 9 times out of 10 when I don't have my period, like today. And my hair is growing. So I'm going to pay whatever I need to pay. Nobody goes to Ming Lee's shop when she says it's going to be $375 for these bundles and be like, I don't know, right? Because they find that getting their hair laid is valuable to them. So they're going to pay whatever it is. So it's not really your job to get people to swallow the price. Your job is to let them know how the skincare is going to change their life. So the price isn't even an option, right? Like the price doesn't matter. If you told them the price was $500, they'd be like, oh my God, I need it, right? But if you're not showing them how it's going to change your life, then it's not going to work. Nita, the question was, how do you get around people being interested in your product, but they can't swallow the price? As an example, the skincare I sell is about $160 and lasts 60 days.
Can you hear me pretty good?
Yeah, now we can hear you better.
Okay, I'm on my phone. I don't know why I didn't use my phone before. But anyway, so the thing is, you have to really, really know how to find out, first of all, your target market, I think, is really important first, because sometimes you might be targeting the wrong people who may not want to pay for what you have. But then again, you really, really have to market it in a way that they need it, regardless of how much it is. And I'm not sure this is anything what you just said, because I just popped back on. But you really have to tell people that they need it. Like, you need this. And if they object, that's fine. Give them a sample, let them sample it out, see how they like it. And if they do like it, maybe they'll come back around later on. If they don't, then you just gave them a sample. That's cool. You know what I mean? So sometimes when I have people in TLC who want product, but they can't afford it, like we have a lot of packages that sometimes the tea is cool, but I always upsell and try to get them to get the whole package because it works better. So they were like, I really can't afford it. But that's fine. Send me a few people, get them to purchase a certain amount, and I'll give you a percentage off or something like that. That's how I get around it. And I've never had someone not do that if they really, really want it. Mm-hmm. For instance, I had this guy, he's so cute. He's trying to lose weight for his wife because they're going on their honeymoon or their second honeymoon.
With that program.
He's so cute. He's like, I really want to lose about 40 pounds. They're going on their second honeymoon, I think in September or something like that. He contacted me back in like March. And he wanted these products, but he's spending a lot of money on this second honeymoon, like a lot. He was like, normally, I would pay it, but I'm dropping stacks on this honeymoon. I was like, I understand. I was like, listen, you work at the shipyard, which is really popular. I hear everybody works at the shipyard here. Go your job, hit up some ladies. I'm gonna give you some catalogs. Go up there. If they order, I need them all to order at least $40 worth of stuff. He was like, oh, that's easy. I get some tea. Cool. He went and got like 8 orders at his job in one day, and all of them were over 100.
I hope
All of
you
them were over
signed up
$100.
at I hope you signed up on your team.
Girl, right. I was like, you could have made money off of this, but whatever. But he all of them were over $100 except one. One was like $87. So I literally gave him my commission. I was like, you can have it, because I made so much off of them. So I gave him, I think what he wanted was like 80 or 230, I think, altogether. I gave him 50% off, because he bought me a bunch of people. I just gave him my commission for it, because it's 50%. So he was like really, really thankful. All those people he bought me are repeat customers. They're still buying from me to this day. So you work with people who are really, really, really interested, but just don't have the money. Some people genuinely don't have the money, but work with them, because I promise you, if they really want it, they'll do what they need to do to get it. So you're going to have people who say, this is too much, I can't afford it. Okay, cool, I'll find somebody who doesn't. Some people ain't gonna buy it.
All right.
You know what I mean? I don't let that get me down. I can afford some stuff I want sometimes. So,
right.
So don't get discouraged by people who say they can't afford it or it's too expensive, because it's too expensive for you, but there's 10 other people that would buy it. So
right, that was the route that I went. Like, it's so funny because I was sitting on a panel in Philly, the entrepreneur pop-up, with Zakia from Fuck Being Fat, or FBF Fitness, and then Deja. And that was one of the things, that came up, like, how do you invest in resources, or how do you invest in things when you don't have the money? And Zakia was like, well, find loopholes. Like, I have a son, so I know what it means, not to have it. But I'm really from the school of, it's like, I just grew up so poor, and I just saw my family make the sacrifices to get us certain things. So I always feel like where there's a will, there's a way. And, if they can't afford it, it's probably because they just don't find it valuable enough to invest in. Like, maybe they genuinely can't afford it because they have to pay bills, or they have to pay tuition, or whatever it is, or they just don't think it's valuable in the first place, So I always say, just keep moving along, right? There's somebody that thinks that I'm at $150 an hour, I'm too expensive. And then there's people that go to Maya and see that she's $497 an hour and be like, oh, let me go back to Emily, because clearly it was cheaper, right? So sometimes people need to shop around, people need to make mistakes until they find whatever it is that they're looking for, or the things that they find valuable. Like I said, it's not your job to sit here and convince people. It's your job to show people what could possibly be. Like, if Nita did a blog post, how I lost 50 pounds in 50 days, right? And people are coming up to you like, oh my gosh, I really want to lose this weight, but I just can't afford it. It's like, girl, you would find, if you really wanted to lose a weight, like in real life, you would find a way, right? You would find a way.
Like, how much money do you spend on fast food a month? And she wrote it down and was like, yeah, right. You could have bought this stuff right here. So let's not say you don't got it. You have it.
Right, exactly. Like, sometimes it's the bundles that we got in our hair. Sometimes it's,
right.
Like, for me, I spent a lot of money on like personal stuff. So like getting my nails done, my toes, my hair, my lashes are $200, So I can never sit here and say I can't afford something. All I need to do is go bald headed in the eyes for a month and I'll have it, right? But right. It's people decide what they find valuable, what they want to invest in. So again, it's kind of your job to make whatever you're selling to them important enough that they want to take money out their pocket, because it could be $5 and they'll still find an excuse if you haven't sold them on the value of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. Let's see if there are any other questions. Did y'all hear my dog snoring?
No.
She is going ham over here. Lord Jesus. I'm a freelance photographer. How do you market a service for sale? Well, Tammy, marketing a service for sale. Give me a little bit more detail as to like what your exact struggle is. Is it that you're not getting clients? Is it that people are saying that they can't afford you? Like, what is the actual issue? Because I feel like that's just a very broad question. But to market any service, the best thing is to be niche, right? So are you a photographer for everybody, or are you a photographer for weddings? Are you a wedding photographer? Are you a street style photographer? Are you a family portrait photographer? Are you for events? Do you do I don't know, launch parties. Because sometimes you will be surprised at how many people are looking for a specialist. They don't want a generalist, right? Any old body could go and take pictures. They want a specialist. So they want to know, I have shot 75 weddings in the last 3 years. I will make sure I capture that special moment, that magical spark between you and your husband. I am the expert in baby photography. I will get your infant to smile after crying for 2 days straight. You have to position the what it is that you're going to provide and why it's valuable to them. I hope that makes sense. But yeah, do not come back and say I shoot pictures for everybody, because that's not gonna work.
That's real hard to market.
That's very hard to market.
That industry, like I used to work with a lot of photographers, and like even they'll tell you like you have to be like in a specific realm to get clients. Like you can't be the people I saw struggle the most were people who were shooting everybody. Like the people who were making the money that were the ones that were saying, I'm a fashion photographer, or I only shoot with this type of, like they were so specific, like I only shoot with this type of person or at this location when the sun is at this peak. Like it was crazy. I'm like, nobody pays attention to that, but they were so specific. But that's how they were getting clients, because being that specific made them look more exclusive in a way. So people were literally flying in to work with these people. Like it would be like this little wimpy kid in New York. I'll never forget, like my first time working with Vogue, like the photographer was like a 20-year-old like nerd you would never think was a beast, but he was a beast. And the reason why is because he was so specific. He was like, I only work with agency models. If you're not 5'11" and above, we can't talk. If you don't have this length hair, we can't talk. If you have any pimples, we can't. Like he was so specific, but people were like fighting to get. He was booked like crazy because he was so specific. So
like there's one girl.
Yeah, very, very important.
That. There's one girl that she does makeup, and her claim to fame is skincare. So she specializes in people who have skincare issues. So if you have like acne or rosacea or, eczema or whatever it is, her specialty is working with people with those skincare issues. Right. So she has carved out a niche for herself because she specializes in that thing. That doesn't mean that she doesn't do makeup for people who don't have those issues, but she is an expert in helping those people. So guess what? If I have acne and I go to her and she beat my face, I'm going to tell everybody else that has acne to go to her because she understands me in a way that other people do not. Right. Everybody specializes in something, or at least people who do things well. Right. Like McDonald's, they do burgers. I mean, yes, they try to dive here and there into some chicken sandwiches, but for the most part, they do burgers. Chick-fil-A does chicken sandwiches, right? Checkers, they got the fries. Like you have to find one thing that's going to be your claim to fame, and you have to ride that wave to attract people to you. Like in It Works, we have 50 products, but I don't promote the weight loss products because I don't need to lose weight, and I can't show people that I've lost weight, right? So I focus on skincare, the hair, skin, and nail vitamins and energy because that's part of my everyday life. So sometimes narrowing down your niche is what's going to make you more marketable because you're not out here trying to be for everybody, and the people who are for you will be for you.
Right.
Okay. Jasmine asks, how do you position yourself as an influencer? In the world of social media, so many people say they are influencers, but how do you really position yourself as one? So we talked about this for 2 hours yesterday, Jasmine. So the first thing that I would say is watch the replay. The second thing that I would say is when you think about, again, I go back to the cake analogy, right? When you are trying to be an influencer, you're probably not going to be an influencer, right? When you're worried about being influential, it might come off as too salesy. The way that you become an influencer is people fall in love with you, who you are, and they fall in love with your story. And when they fall in love with you and how authentic you are and how transparent you are, then they trust you and they're willing to buy from you, right? So for me, as an influencer, I am very authentic and transparent. Like who you see on this webinar is who you're going to see offline walking through Lenox Mall in Atlanta, is who you're going to see twerking on Instagram stories. Like I'm the same person across the board. So when I go on my Instagram and I say, I love this desk, right? I use this desk. This is how I use it. People are going to trust and believe that because I've never pretended to be something else before. Does that make sense?
Right.
I don't know if it makes sense, but yeah, becoming an influencer, there's no strategy to becoming an influencer. I think it's all about engaging with your audience and providing value over and over again. Do you have
Right.
anything, Nita?
I think it's really important on social media to, again, like she said, you really have to be yourself, because that alone separates you from everybody. Nobody has your story. Nobody can deliver things the way you do. Nobody can talk about a certain thing the way you do. So people will see that. Like for me, my Instagram, my personal one, is not really business, but it is, because I post about things that I love, and people dive in my inbox trying to send me stuff based off of what I love. Like I love makeup. Like all these makeup companies, can we send you some free sure, girl, send me a lip gloss too. Like, but it's only because they can see what I love. So you really have to post what you're passionate about and show people what you're passionate about, because those are the kind of people that you're going to attract. So if you like makeup, then you're going to attract people who like makeup. If you like interior design, you're posting a lot of interior design stuff, you're going to attract people who like that. And some of those people you attract are going to be people who will pay you to, influence for them. So again, like she said, it's very, very important to be yourself. But on social media, you really, really have to post about what you love and post about it with some passion, so they can see how you would post for them. You see what I'm saying? So that's really important.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. It's hard because I get that question all the time. Like, how do you become an influencer? And it's like, you don't become an influencer. You are influential, right? Like, you as who you are as a person is influential. You get the label of influencer when a brand or a company starts to pay you to influence other people because you are already influential. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't get in the game not influential and then think that you're going to become an influencer. Does that make sense? It's a very abstract concept, but an influencer is, by definition, somebody who influences buying decisions. The way that you influence buying decisions is by having the trust of your audience. People buy from people. People buy from people that they know, like, and trust. Right? So if you are building a social media presence where you have built an audience that knows you, they know who you are, you've shared, some parts of your life, they like you, right? They genuinely think that you're a nice person, relatable, whatever, and they trust your opinions and your recommendations, then you become an influencer. But until you do that, until you build an audience, until you have a community of people that believes in you, then you can't position yourself as an influencer. Does that make sense?
Another thing, real quick, I was watching something.
Oh, you're breaking up.
Sorry, that's my alarm. But one thing, I was watching something on TV, and this lady, she owned like a magazine or something, and she even said, like, when some people approach her about being influencers or whatever, or blogging for them or whatever, the first thing she does is she looks at their social media and sees how they post. She was like, she doesn't care if they have tens or thousands, they could have 200 followers, but if their posts aren't professional looking, if their pictures aren't clear, if there's no theme to their Instagram, their captions are nothing, and they have no engagement, they're not responding to their audience, they look at all that stuff. So even if you don't have a huge following, make sure that your pictures look at least really, really clean. There's so many apps out there to make your pictures look amazing that you don't need a professional camera. Engage with your audience, have a dope caption, don't just post stuff. And because people look at that stuff, they go on your Instagram, they looking, they may not say anything, but they're looking. So make sure that you're at least setting yourself up for success before they start coming.
Right. And I like that you mentioned the captions, because I think captions on Instagram and your Instagram story are what changes the game to really help you transition from just Raggedy Ann to Rachel the influencer, right? Because, for example, this is what I tell people, like, Drake is never gonna cut you a check, right? So all these people that be posting these pictures with Drake lyrics or, all these quotes and all this stuff, it's like, that's great, but that's never gonna build a connection with anybody. When I go on my Instagram caption and I tell a story about what's going on with my day, letting people see how I think, giving them advice, I treat basically my Instagram pictures and my captions like little mini blog posts, like little blog posts that live on Instagram. And each picture is telling a different story about me and my life. And, you know, on my Instagram story, it's literally my everyday life, right? You see my dog doing the most, like literally walking all over my face, sleeping in my suitcases, you know, and people, that makes me relatable. That makes me human, right? Because other people have dogs or other people find it funny. And that's how people start to build that connection with you. But when you're trying too hard, or you're trying to be way too professional, or you're trying to have a business page and all this other stuff, that connection will never be there. So like Nita has the her agency, right? And she has the business page, and then she has her own personal page. So people are not going to reach out to her and be like, hey girl, we want you to promote this product on your business page. They want her to promote it on her personal page, because she's a person and people are more likely to buy from someone than from something. Does that make sense?
Right.
The last question that we have is, how do you start with zero funds to keep up your network marketing business?
Honestly, you probably won't, depending on what company you're with, because there's always going to be costs associated with a business, period. So I think you have to have in mind, going into any type of business, even network marketing, there's going to be some type of cost. Like, I don't even know any company that lets you come for free. And if they are, then they may not even be legit. And you have to check them out, because you are going to have overhead. Business, period. I mean, even me, even though I'm working from home, I have overhead. I have my website. I have, my email marketing. I have all that other stuff that goes, that's overhead for your business. So you have to expect, as far as network marketing, it's going to be something, whether it's a website, whether y'all have product you have to buy on auto ship, whatever your company says you have to do. Mm-hmm. I really don't know of a company that will let you start for free. It's always something like, they'll say you have to start for free, but you got to pay 1 month of your website or something like that. You know what I mean? So I'm not really sure on that. I've always come in at the high package, me personally, because I always sell my product and get my investment back. So I'm not really sure. You know any companies that'll?
No, girl. You can't start any business with zero funds, right? I mean, you can't.
Not a good business. You can, but it'll start really slow.
Right. But it'll take time to get that investment back. And really, in real life, you can't. Because when I started my business, when I got like the LLC and all that stuff, the LLC was money. Getting the domain name was money. You know, I was investing a lot of time trying to do everything myself, when I really could have, just hired somebody like a web designer or something. So you always are going to spend, even if you think about, okay, well, I'm just going to create a free website or whatever. You still have to you still are going to end up having some expense. At the very least, the domain is going to cost you at least probably between $5 to $10. So there's no business that you could start for zero money. What we do, and it works, is we have a $99 starter kit, but that starter kit brings $99 worth of product, right? So if somebody comes to me and is like, Emily, like, I really want to sign up, but I don't have the money, what I say is, okay, we're going to pre-sell your wraps, right? Post right now on your social media that you're selling 4 wraps for $30. Once you get those $30, you can take that money, sign up for Young It Works, and then when your product comes in 7 days, then you could give it out, right? So again, I really feel like if you want to make it work, you can make it work. And you can't be a product of the product in any business without spending money, right? Like, I can't teach people how to do marketing automation, and I'm not doing marketing automation for myself, right? My email marketing system is $99 a month. To do It Works, it cost me $99 one time. You know what I'm saying? So you have to understand that you're always going to spend money. Different businesses have different things. Like my mom in Mary Kay, she has to buy $600 worth of product every month. And It Works, we don't have to hold inventory. We only buy what we're going to personally use with our 40% discount. I know there's other businesses that you buy the kits that you're going to sell, right? In Herbalife, I think you can boost. Like, every business, you're going to have to invest in the products, because you can't possibly sell something that you personally don't use on a daily basis. Or you cannot sell something if you personally don't have something to show to people, if you don't have samples, if you didn't buy the t-shirt, you know, like in my business, I literally wear It Works t-shirt. I use my skincare, I drink my hair vitamins, and I drink energy drinks. And that's my marketing strategy, you know. But I had to spend money on those products, even though I'm using them for myself, but it still costs. So there's really no way to do it. I would say if you are thinking of getting started in network marketing, I would just consider pre-selling, you know, kind of like what Nita does, finding, offering to, you know, find other customers or get customers pre-signed up, or, you know, pre-sell the products or whatever it is. And that way you can start, making some money. Like for my books, when I wrote my book, I pre-sold it. So that way I had money to actually get the books printed because I was broke as shit. So by me pre-selling the books, I had enough money. I took that money and literally flipped it and used that same exact amount to get books printed. And then I delivered on those books. And then, you know, I just kept doing the process over and over again. So sometimes you do need to pre-sell in regular business, in network marketing, in real life, to kind of, you know, keep yourself going, because sometimes you just don't have the investments.
Right. I pre-sell everything.
Let me see. Okay, I think we answered all the questions. Let me check real quick, make sure nobody got their hand raised from the phone. No. Okay, perfect. So Nita, just let everybody know how they can find you, what's next for you, et cetera, et cetera.
All right. Well, you can find me on Instagram. I'm always up there as I am Nita J. Page on her post, so you can go. I'm also on Twitter by the same name. Let's see. My website is iamnitaj.com. So I'm real easy to find. And I would love to connect with all of you. I'm crazy, so just let y'all know that now. Me and them, we on the same page. So. Yeah, I look forward to checking y'all out, seeing what y'all have going on. I love to show love to everybody. Again, I'm actually studying for my real estate license right now. So a lot of my stuff is digital, and all my sales that are coming through are TLC stuff. That's kind of like streaming through my website. So I'm not really doing too much right now, but studying. But I mean, that's why you got to set your business up a certain way. So if you got to pull back, you still got money coming in. So
right.
That's exactly what's going on right now. So yeah, I should have my license pretty soon. So y'all see that on Instagram. This test is kicking my ass. I've been out of college for a long time, and this is hard.
Girl, I can't. You can't pay me to take. You cannot pay me to take another test. I'm like, grad school, never.
Yeah, these questions are ridiculous, but I'm good. You know, I learned a lot from working in corporate America, and I incorporate with my businesses. So that's been a blessing. So it'll be all right.
Yay. Well, everybody, if you were on yesterday, you already know the drill, but please go comment or drop an emoji or just something on the last picture that I posted on Instagram. It's this one, the one with Nita, just so that we can all follow one another, we can stay connected and things like that. I have to go back and actually make sure that I'm still following everybody from yesterday, but definitely leave a comment, drop an emoji, just a little something to say that you were there, so that way we can all connect with one another.
Janelle said she's taking her test too. Girl, it's
good luck.
Yeah, it's crazy. So I'm supposed to be taking my test at the end of next month. So, girl, I'll pray for you. Pray for me.
Y'all got it. I'll let y'all know when I'm trying to buy my mansions in y'all states.
Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and get more than one license. I'm gonna come to Georgia, get some of that Georgia real estate money.
Okay, we got a ton.
Yeah, but go ahead and post underneath her picture. I'm gonna try to follow everybody back as well. So
yeah, I don't have anything to do right at this very, very second, so I'm gonna get to following them back right now. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all tomorrow for Maya's How to Create a Product or Service in 90 Days.
All right, bye.
Bye.